nyakubahwa perezida wa repubulika, nyakubahwa perezida wa repubulika arahageze.
Welcome, welcome, Your Excellency. Welcome, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Rwanda.
Turi kuri mission. Iyo mission twashakaga ikibanza mu muri kiduhe twubakira abaturage, twubaka amashuri, twubaka amazu. Muri 2013 icyo gihe mwaravuze ngo ariko biroroshye ngo vugana hano na RDB bazakibaha icyo kibanza. Mwarakiduhaye. Icyo kibanza mwakiduhaye Bugesera, duhamagara mama ngo turagowe ngo ubusa ahantu hadakira imihanda, hatagira amazi, electricity zagira gute. Kandi twari kumwe n'abazungu benshi dukorana muri Canada, baravuga ngo mama aravuga ngo mudasenga, musenga Imana ifite plan. Tugiye twumva ngo niho aeroport zizaza n'ibindi byose tutima birashimwe. So, reka ngere kuri point. Since we talked to you in 2013, we have raised over $1 million Canadian. Twarahubatse, haruzuye, hari amazu, abaturage, amashuri y'abana, turabagaburira. N'abaminisitiri baza kudusura. Duherukanye na Minisitiri Sumutakiriyo aravuga ngo iyi modo mufite niyo y'igihugu dukeneye kugenderaho. So then ndagira ngo mbashimire mwaduhaye ikibanza kandi je nabutoye ni philanthropy only to volunteers. Je ndi umwarimu w'impumyi nkora Braille. I produce Braille for living with the government of Canada. Uyakora na Immigration Canada.
Back in the days I used to go, when I started to travel trying to promote my music, I used to go outside of the country, and when I said I'm from Rwanda, people used to confuse it. They'd be like, you Rwanda, Uganda? I'll be like, no, I'm from Rwanda. But now, here we are. Last year, I came here in America. I did my tour to promote my music, and everywhere I went, they know Rwanda, and they know us very well. So, it's very, very good. As I said, I was born in 92. To some, at the point I was like, maybe I was born in the wrong timing, or what, but not really, because I'm happy that I have seen all these 30 years with my own eyes. I've seen the country growing. It was very hard for the last time, because performing in front of people like you, people used to be sad to the point that you tell them to clap and they cannot.
Nasabye ijuru ngo rizakumpa ariko ndakubonye. Imana ishimwe. Papa wanjye, nkuko uhaguruka ngo u Rwanda ntirukababare, ukanga kwikiremwa muntu cyababazwa. Nanjye mpagurutse kubw'agahinda k'umwana wanjye, kandi nzi ko urwanira ukuri kandi urwanira gutsinda. Nagize akarengane, ndi umunyarwandakazi nitwa Uwaje Amahoro Nadine. Nagiye kubyara mfite randevu yo kubagwa kuko umwana akurikirana ari narabazwe. Ibitaro bimbwira ko birambaga saa 2 za mu gitondo, banyambika sonde. Bigera saa 8 bataraza kumbaga, umwana akaza agakubita umutwe kuri sonde. Ndatabaza kubera hari umuganga umwe, barambwira ngo baraje saa 11. Basanga umwana yarangije gusufurira mu matako, bakuruza vantuze, bivira mu mwana wanjye kubora ubwonko.
Excellency, First Lady, it's a pleasure to have you here. You're making this Rwanda Day very special for us. Now, talking after Masai Ujiri is a tall order. Wasn't that a very powerful and inspiring speech? My name is Eugene Ubarijoro, and I'm extremely honored to be part of this economic development panel, which is going to be focusing on sports and entertainment. I live and work in Dallas, Texas. It's always a pleasure for me to be back here in Washington, D.C., because this is where I went to school. Georgetown University is my alma mater. Let me give you a little snapshot of my professional journey. I started working in the beverage industry 34 years ago with Bralirwa in Rwanda. My career has spanned 3 continents, Africa, Europe, and the Americas. And I've held increasingly senior commercial and general management positions in Rwanda, the DRC, France, La Réunion, the US, the Netherlands, and Ethiopia. Today, I'm the regional vice president for Molson Coors, responsible for the central part of the US, and I oversee a business of $1.6 billion. Now, sports has always been a strong passion point for me. In high school, I was captain of a varsity soccer team playing center midfield. While working for Bralirwa, I played point guard for the company's basketball team. Nowadays, I enjoy long road cycling, and thank God for Peloton. I'm able to jump on my Peloton 3 to 4 times a week. And I also try to clock in at least one 10K run per week. When I was younger, I used to actually play basketball with Minister Biruta. And believe it or not, Minister Biruta has a very sharp jump shot. I'm married. I have 3 children. And although I've been an expatriate for the last 27 years, I do go back home almost every year with my wife who's here and my children. Going back to home for me is extremely important because that's where my roots are. Claire, Bruce, do you want to introduce yourselves as well?
Muraho neza. Yoo-hoo! My name is Bruce Melody. I'm an artist, music artist. Also, I'm a co-owner of a basketball team. United Generation Basketball, cyangwa se UGB. This is a great opportunity for me as a young Rwandan who has been in Rwanda since I was born. I'm now 31 years old. Nkuko Minister bivuze kare, I'm not young anymore. Nishimiye kuba ndaha ndi no kumwe n'abantu beza nkamwe. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Excellency, First Lady, Honorable Ministers, and everybody. Good afternoon. So today is my 11th day as NBA Africa CEO. If you asked me 11 months ago to imagine that I would be CEO Africa and NBA Africa, I would have said you're 11 times crazy. But speaking about the power of vision, that vision that started in 2016 with the president holding his head and asking about how to build an arena, that power of vision is the reason that I'm here today as the CEO of NBA Africa. When a country invests in a very bold way, opens opportunities that you'd never have thought imagined for a country, even us, Rwanda, we benefit. And that's exactly what we see today. I spent the first 19, close to 20 years of my life working for the government of Rwanda, focusing on private sector growth and economic development. And today I'm transitioning to the private sector. So thank you again and very good to be here. And to start our conversation, Eugene, Masai talked very clearly about the power of a sports economy. He talked about the facilities and what they do to create opportunities for people. And I think in Rwanda and the rest of the world, we've seen that in a very clear way. So you, please start us off. What do you see as the opportunity, where the examples we can see, and how can we drive that home even more? Thank you.
Thank you, Claire, for that question. Now, I discovered the power of sports and music with Heineken and Coca-Cola. Basically, these two multinationals have understood quite early that the best way to connect with consumers is through sponsorships of music and sports. Heineken does it with UEFA's Champions League or Primus Guma Guma. Coca-Cola does it with the World Cup. But for these sponsorship deals to be meaningful, you need to have facilities, right? Now, I want to use two very powerful examples to illustrate my point. The first one has to do with the Dallas Cowboys. Now, arguably, the Dallas Cowboys is probably one of those most valuable national football franchise in the country. Its owner, Mr. Jerry Jones, in 2009, decided to build a state-of-the-art stadium in Arlington, right outside of DFW, Dallas-Fort Worth. This stadium has a capacity of 105,000 people. It's nestled between two other stadiums, a baseball stadium and a college football stadium. Now, in 2018, some investors, a group of investors, smelled a great opportunity. They decided to basically create an entertainment venue called Texas Live. Google it. In a way, it's like Zaria Court. So what is Texas Live? Texas Live is a unique, basically a mix of entertainment, restaurant, and accommodation, which basically combines an amazing entertainment district. In the last 5 years, this small venue has morphed into a huge entertainment district, attracting more than $1 billion in business, in additional business. Okay? So when Molson Coors partners with the Cowboys, Molson Coors is winning with consumers that goes through Texas Live. Molson Coors is winning with consumers that go to the stadium. And Molson Coors is winning with consumers that buy our product in hotels, in supermarkets, and restaurants. A second powerful example I want to use here is the Sphere in Las Vegas. Have you heard of the Sphere in Las Vegas? Now, the Sphere in Las Vegas was just basically opened in September of last year. It offers immersive experience through the use of cutting-edge technology using massive LED displays on its exterior. Now, the band U2, an Irish band, has been playing there since the month of September, and they've been selling out their shows, ever since. The Sphere is the definition of what entertainment is going to be for the next foreseeable future. The Sphere has basically redefined what entertainment standards should be. Now, as Masai mentioned, these two examples illustrate how sports arenas, entertainment stadiums can basically create an ecosystem. These two examples have basically paved the way for new businesses, new employment, new opportunities, investment opportunities, and they've shown how they can be a strong economic multiplier for the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Those are the examples I wanted to use, Claire. Now, Claire, can you tell us how the NBA can be an engine for economic transformation for Rwanda in particular and Africa in general?
Thank you, Eugene. First of all, do we have any basketball fans here? Any NBA followers? So NBA has invested in Africa. And the reason that NBA has chosen to invest in Africa is because we just cannot ignore Africa. When it comes, first of all, to the numbers, the demographics, in 25 years, 25% of the world population will be African. 1 in every 4 people in the world will be African. And while the rest of the world is aging, Africa is young. We have young people, we have youthful energy, and if any business is thinking about talent, thinking about skills, thinking about driving productivity, consumption, the consumer for the future, there's no way you can avoid Africa. And that's why the NBA chose to settle in Africa as well. But I think Masai did talk about excellence that Africa shows on the world stage. I think that's very true. 50 players in the NBA today are from Africa, either directly from Africa or one of their parents was born in Africa. 50 players, that's 10% of NBA. In fact, the reigning MVP, the most valuable player today, is Joel Embiid from Cameroon. I think that's an example of African excellence. But we don't see African excellence only in sports. We talk about sports and entertainment. If you look at African music on the world stage today, if you look at the arenas that Burna Boy can fill in New York, in London, if you look at the collaborations, you look at Chris Brown playing with Davido, you look at our very own Bruce Melody with Shaggy on the world stage. That is African excellence. And it's not just in sports or music, but we see it in fashion. If you go to Paris or Milan, today you see African fashion. If you look at art, I was reading a New York Times article recently, and for the first time an African piece of art sold for more than $1 million was only 2004. Today, there are 11 art pieces from Africa that have sold for $1 million and more. That is Africa's excellence on the world stage. Now, it's not just $1 million, but even in our own very Rwanda, tourists come from all over the world, and they go to buy art pieces. Many of you know Inema Gallery. If you look at the art pieces that Inema Gallery is selling to tourists that come to Rwanda, an average price of $10,000 for an art piece made in Rwanda, that can only grow, and the price can only grow. Compared to traditional sectors like coffee and tea and vegetables that we grow, which are very important because we need agriculture. But how many kilos do you have to sell of coffee or tea in order to make 10,000 from one art piece? This is the future of a creative economy, and I think Africa's excellence is very much clear on the world stage. And this is why within the NBA, we decided to invest in Africa. And today, if you look at what we've put in place from junior programs for the very young Africans from the age of 6 to 14, we have something called Basketball Without Borders that has drafted 10 players into the NBA. We have an NBA academy in Senegal. Now, very interesting is we have a Basketball Africa League, the only other league outside the NBA on the African continent. This year, we shall be going to our 4th season. And for the last 3 seasons, we've had the playoffs in Rwanda and the finals. But what is interesting, again, the power of vision, is that when the Basketball Africa League was going to start in 2021, it was in the middle of COVID. The only country that gave confidence that you can actually have a basketball league happening during COVID safely was Rwanda. So all the games happened in Rwanda at the time. There was an arena, there was a collaborating government, there was good management of COVID-19, and the successful launch of Basketball Africa League at the time means that today we're going to be starting the 4th season this year. Now, talking about music and talking about the Basketball Africa League, in our very first season, again, the intersection between sports and entertainment, the Basketball Africa League partnered with Bruce Melody and produced a song called Game On. Maybe we'll start by showing...
Well, that was a surprise. Yeah. As I said, I'm from Kigali, I'm from Rwanda. I was born and raised there, and that's where I started my career as an artist. Talking about entertainment facilities, as you mentioned, it has been very, very hard for an artist like me to perform or to organize your own event. But you remember when I launched my 10 years event, like my 10 years celebration of my career in Kigali Arena. That's when I realized like our entertainment has been doing it for a long time. And I would say that these entertainment facilities put our country on the global stage. It promotes our culture, And those who come to our country, they go back with our culture and they go back with our music. That's how we become promoted. I'll give you an example. One of the guy whose name is Steve, he's one of the member of the record label here in America, which is called Scarf Records. He heard my music when he was in Kigali, and he liked my songs. He contacted me, and now I'm working with Hollywood. Through that person, and that's where the collab with Shaggy came from. So back in the days, I used to go, when I started to travel, trying to promote my music, I used to go outside of the country, and when I said I'm from Rwanda, people used to confuse it. They'd be like, you Rwanda, Uganda? I'll be like, no, I'm from Rwanda. But now, here we are. Last year, I came here in America. I did my tour to promote my music. And everywhere I went, they know Rwanda, and they know us very well. So it's very, very good. As I said, I was born in 92. To some, at the point, I was like, maybe I was born in the wrong timing, or what, but not really, because I'm happy that I have seen all these 30 years with my own eyes. I've seen the country growing. It was very hard for the last time, because performing in front of people like you, people used to be sad to the point that you tell them to clap and they cannot. Through the entertainment and all this, we entertain people. People are happy back at home. Have you heard about this comedy and music, basketball, football? So this, if it wasn't the entertainment facilities, this could not be happening like this. Thank you.
And maybe if I can come in there, I saw from the statistics that Francis from RDB and his colleagues shared, when you have facilities like those, it's not just about sports. I think RDB just released their statistics. They made $92 million from mice holding events in Rwanda, of which close to 15% was sports events. But when you have an arena like that, I think what we've seen also from Rwanda is that you host sports events, yes. You host music concerts. We saw Kendrick Lamar and many others, Boys II Men, among others, come to Rwanda to participate in the arena. But we also see music, gospel music, Israel Mbonye, filling up the stadium. So from sports to traditional music, gospel, and then you see Hunger Pitch Fest, a technology event in the arena. So I think our message is, when you have facilities like that, they're multi-purpose, they're economic driver, you can make money, 15% of mice from that, and this is what we're telling other countries as well in Africa. Don't look at it as sports only, look at it as an economic driver, and you can actually make money from running these events in your country. But it's not just the money, it's also the jobs. Come to think about what it takes to run a league, a sports league, like the Basketball Africa League. How many jobs you actually create? You have players that play the game. You have coaches, you have referees, you have managers, you have medical team, you have nutritionists, you have sound engineers, you have camera people, you have lawyers because you have contracts to sign, you have marketing people. The number of jobs are just immense, and that's really the story. It's job creation. It's driving economic growth through events, among other things, but it's really a story of growth for the future of the continent.
Now, you just heard Claire and Bruce Melody highlighting the importance of facilities. Now, many people ask themselves, should we keep building these facilities in Rwanda? The answer is a resounding yes. Now, if you look at Rwanda and most African countries in general, there's a growing middle class with consumers who have evolving consumer needs and habits. The Rwandan leadership has been intentional in anticipating these trends and investing ahead of the curve. Now, facilities like the BK Arena, the conference centers, the hotels, they all create value today. They will create value in 5 years, in 10 years, even in 50 years. Now, we've been lucky. We've had a visionary leader in President Kagame, His Excellency President Kagame. He has provided us with a very clear vision, a strong, bold, and decisive leadership, which has allowed us to imagine what success can look like, how Rwanda can eventually host the world with all these facilities. Now, I want to make an ask of you, members of the diaspora. If you have a skill in sports or entertainment, come and use it in Rwanda. Now, if you believe that there are no opportunities, come and create them. Rwanda is open for business. Now, before I conclude, I want to leave you with one final thought. Rome was created around a Colosseum. And by the way, the Colosseum was a venue for sports and entertainment. Today, almost 2,000 years later, tourists are still flocking to the Colosseum. The Colosseum is still being used as a stage for small concerts. So in other words, these facilities are critical to the economic development of our country, and we should keep investing in them because they create the brand that is Rwanda. Thank you for your kind attention.
Well, I would like to speak to young people here. When we grow up, twajyaga twumva ijambo Rwanda rw'ejo. By the time I was like, hari igihe kinini tuzaba dukura. Ariko, right now, nitwe Rwanda. Ejo harageze, ubu noneho natwe dufite ubushobozi bwo gutekereza ku Rwanda rw'ejo. Tukarwereka cyangwa se tukaruha ingero z'uko u Rwanda rukwiye kuba rumeze. Murakoze.
So if you want to play basketball and you're in this room and you're wondering how to start on the continent, there are opportunities for you in the Basketball Africa League. Through the local federations like Ferwaba, you can actually find out what you can do. We have private clubs like REG, APR, Patriots, among others. So please make sure that your talent that you have here, you share it with us at home as well. So my call to you is you can play basketball on the African continent professionally and make money while at it.
Barakoze panelists bacu, nyakubahwa First Lady, ikiganiro cyari kiryoshye, ariko nk'uko babivuga mu Kinyarwanda, karyoshye ntigahora mwitama. Turaza guhana none umwanya mugenzi wanjye kugira ngo twakire ibitekerezo, ibibazo se, kugira ngo dusoze icyiciro cya nyuma cy'ibiganiro byaberaga muri iki cyumba. Murakoze. Muhaguruke twakire nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika, nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika arahageze.
Welcome, welcome, Your Excellency. Welcome, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Rwanda.
tugihagaze. tugihagaze mureke turirimbe indirimbo y'igihugu. Tugihagaze indirimbo y'igihugu. Murakoze cyane. Gahoranisha reka tukurate tukuvugire ibigwi wowe utubumbiye hamwe twese abanyarwanda uko watubyaye berwa sugira singizwa iteka turazi imihigo Rwanda dukunda duhagurukiye mu bwitangira bw'amahoro asabe mu bagutuye buri byose urangwe n'ishaka utera imbere uhamye umubano n'amahanga yose murakoze cyane.
Who came here for these 2 days? They came to listen to President Kagame. It's my honor and privilege to welcome you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Where do I start from? So to our ambassador, with all the kind words and everything, let me say maybe Rwanda got the leadership Rwanda deserved. And I'm saying this to remind all of us that nothing works just because of one person or one leader, but things work because of the collective effort. So for Rwanda to deserve, as I said, the leadership they got, it's indeed because Rwanda and Rwandans together have done things that therefore they deserve to be moving in the right direction. So thank you. Now, I'm here, I've been here for the last couple of days for a number of reasons. The first was the invitation I received to come and join and be part of prayer breakfast. And I thank Grace, whom I see here in front of me in this room. Thank you for doing that. So I came. We prayed. We had breakfast. Everything went according to plan. I'm grateful. But coming here for prayer breakfast gave me a number of opportunities. One was to meet many other people here in the United States, public and private people who serve in those capacities. I also met, well, this time I'm meeting Rwandans from across the world, I should say. Meeting Rwandans in this sense, Rwanda Day is not just another addition to the program I had. It's a very important part of why I had to come here, even to answer the invitation I received for prayer breakfast. Because I normally, even for just Rwanda Day on its own, I have traveled places to meet and address a gathering like this. So all those were very important tasks for me to carry out while I was here. The other part is equally important. I want to take this moment to thank, let me start with Rwandans who have come from all over the world and are here with us, and we are going to have a good conversation. But I want to thank the friends of Rwanda who have not, who are no longer just friends. They have become Rwandans, they've become family, if I will say. There are those who have just spoken to us. Senator Inhofe, Pastor Rick, and there are many others sitting here in this audience that I have seen and can see now, and others. They've become, for the last 30 years, some of them, in actual fact, part of who we have become and who we are. So I wanted to thank you. I won't take the risk of naming them. I don't want to leave anyone out of the list that I would wish to spare out. They are here. Anyway, that's the most important thing. And I can see them. And I can thank them when they are here. So there are things that happened during this time I've been here. There are things that didn't happen. You know, some people sometimes want to highlight what didn't happen. But I want to highlight what happened. That was very important for me. and for Rwanda. Our journey has been quite long and trying, difficult. But that's the beauty of it, that we are where we are through those difficulties. We have endured, we have survived. We want to do just as much to be better human beings, to be where we want to be. Some people in other parts of the world have taken for granted. We will be there, no matter what. This is what we said from the beginning. "30 years ago, now we're covering 30 years since the worst tragedy in our country. But we believed. We wanted to live our lives, even so many lost theirs. And we promised ourselves. You know, there is I think people say that lightning does not strike twice in the same place. Doesn't strike same place twice. Maybe. But for me, I want to be on the safe side. I would rather make sure and prepare for a situation where Rwanda, that was struck once badly in 1994, will not be struck again. I want us Rwandans not to take chances. We just have to ensure that we are not going to be struck again. And that is possible. We just have to prepare our defenses, build our capacity. You know, with the lightning, which I was giving the example of, there is something, maybe in some languages they call it something else, or even in the same language, English, but I know it as a lightning conductor. You put it on a house. When the lightning strikes, everything goes down to the earth and leaves the building and the people and things intact in the house, if it was a house. So we have to make sure that we put in place this protective mechanism. And that's going to be by every one of us being prepared and working together to ensure that that does not happen again. Earlier, the young lady mentioned something, and I quickly, to my mind, I knew where the story came from. Somebody must have let out our conversation, which was a bit private, and I know it must have come from Masai, who I'm seeing in the crowd. What he didn't tell you was that apart from scratching my head, I was busy turning my pockets and wondering where the money is going to come from. But nonetheless, even then I was convinced all that is possible. It is possible, it's going to be possible in many other cases because of what I said earlier, just working hard, preparing ourselves, learning lessons from our past and history, building on that, moving ahead into our future, which must be better than our past. And you know, human beings are capable of many things, some of them as bad as what happened 30 years ago in our country. But human beings also have the capacity to do good things. Like Rwandans have repaired what was destroyed, including our lives, and we are much better now than we were 30 years ago. We just have to keep going. I was going to say don't relax, but I want you to relax. Only that remember that while you relax, you also, parallel to that, you need to be doing the right things, the right way, and the right speed. All right? I've also heard people say, if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go and reach far, you have to go together. You know, I want us to go together, but I want us to go fast and reach far, both of them. I don't think there is any contradiction. You can go far and fast at the same time. That's what our situation compels us to do, and we must think like that. We must be able to do things and move fast, but want to go far at the same time. And we really have ourselves either to blame or to thank for succeeding. Nobody else. Don't blame If Rwandans fail, don't start looking for excuses and say, somebody somewhere, and then you start talking about colonial times, you start talking about, no. Those are over, behind us. So don't let's not use an excuse. We must, though of course in our region and we see on our continent, we still have a lot of problems to overcome, but they can be overcome. There's no question about it. And we need to keep trying to work together, base what we are doing on facts, on truth, on evidence, and measure what we are doing, where we have come from, and where we have reached. And then you try to investigate to find what is it that delayed us, what is it that failed us, and you fix it, and we have to fix that. We are capable, and please, as Rwandans, we can't afford to waste the lessons learned from our tragedy. There are so many lessons, including that sometimes in time of need, you are on your own. So you prepare for when that time comes. If you were to be left on your own, you can still do something and survive and live and make progress. But that does not preclude working together with others and learning from them and benefit from what they offer. So these are things so for Rwandans who came from different places, and friends of Rwanda whom I mentioned too. The reasons for Rwanda Day to start with is to make sure that every Rwandan who is outside of Rwanda is connected with his or her home wherever they are. You can leave Rwanda and go wherever you want to go, but Rwanda should not leave you. It stays with you. So maybe if you stayed with it in some form, it's good for all of us. It's good for Rwanda, it's good for you. And it is doable. That's why whenever I have an opportunity, we have this Rwanda Day. We have had so many here in the United States. We have had more than a dozen of them. We have had them in Canada, in Europe, in Africa itself, in Asia, but more here in the United States. And we will have more Rwandans. So we are here now 30 years after the tragedy. And I know since '94, many of you are about that age, 30 years, plus, minus, but around that. I want to ensure that we understand that our future, your future, is in your hands. The young people of our country want to be able to rely on you, to believe in you, to get a sense that you've been brought up in a manner that is going to be meaningful and to put Rwanda in a place where it deserves to be. It's upon you. Those are choices that you have to make. And I don't see why you wouldn't make those good choices that will enable it to happen as we want it. So those in business, in politics, in philanthropy, in faith organizations and different things, we welcome you. We thank you for many things you're already doing. But we have to be aware there is more to come. There is more expected from all of us. So that's the pleasure of being here and thanking you for what you're already doing and urging you to do more. Asking you to do more isn't like making you feel that what you're doing is a thankless job, but just the reality of our situation and what is expected of us. So, when I said, where do I start from? I'm now struggling to find a way of ending this one. But I want to once again thank you. I think we have another part where we're going to have a conversation. And I hope we all enjoy that part as well. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. You've seen the incredible eagerness and excitement in this room to hear from you. So I hope you're ready for 4 years full of questions because we have plenty. We'll start our Q&A in this room. And as I mentioned earlier, we have people in this room. We also have people in the Woodrow Wilson room. And so I'm going to start with 2 people here. We had questions that were sent to us. So we'll start with those. Irakoze Zilpha and Wutera Michael, you're going to go first, and you're both in this room. So let's see you both. Make sure you go quick so that we have plenty of time for other people to ask 4 years of questions.
Thank you, Your Excellency. My name is Zilpha Irakoze. I am a PhD candidate at the Pennsylvania State University. Doing a dual title in food science and international agriculture and development. Mine won't be a question, but rather a thank you note. I want to thank you for the excellent leadership system that you've put in place, a system that empowers the youth, a system that empowers a girl child. I benefited from this system when I was 18 years old, straight out of high school. You can't hear me. I'm sorry. Thank you. I was saying that I benefited from the system, the leadership. Yes. I forget, yes. Thank you. Can you hear me better? I was saying that I benefited from this leadership system that you've put in place. When I was 18 years old, I was a young graduate from high school with a dream to go abroad and help in the development of my country. I had the grades, I had the passion, and I had the dream, but I didn't have the economic funds to be able to do so. But thanks to the system you've put in place, I was granted a scholarship that was a collaboration. That was a collaboration of the Ministry of Agriculture and the Howard Buffett Foundation. Me and so many of my colleagues, thanks to that scholarship, I was able to do my undergrad at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln in agriculture. And 7 years later, I'm happy to report that I'm pursuing a PhD and a prospective a doctorate in the next year. And as you always remind us, to whom much is given, much is expected. And I wanted you to know that the students that you've sent here to do the education and learn have committed to empowering the next generation of scientific researchers. We are committed to being the representative and being the symbol of the country's dream and vision, telling the stories of Rwanda, the vision of Rwanda, a vision spoken truly from a Rwandan child and not a vision that's spoken from other people, telling our stories correctly. And to conclude, as you had just mentioned and empowered us to do at the Umushyikirano 2024, you said fight for your dreams. We hear you, we see you. We are ready and we're committed to put all our energy, all the skills that we've been empowered to do into the development of our country, whether that's directly collaborating with different researchers in Rwanda, as I'm currently working on into a project of reducing aflatoxin in maize, or potentially head-spearing these different agriculture projects in the future. Thank you very much.
Let's get the second question. The second question was coming from Wutera Michael.
Thank you very much. My name is Michael Butera Mugasa, and thank you very much for this opportunity, and thank you very much, President. I stand here not just presenting myself, not just on my behalf, but on behalf of very many students who have come across the United States, from Canada. And we're just here to say three things to you, Mr. President. We came to assure you that we see, listen, and understand what you've been doing and what you continue to do. Dear President, as a young person, I can't state in full measure what you've been able to do in terms of mental framework change. Rwandans have always been yearning a new framework of thinking that they hold on so strongly that changed so much. Dear President, get it from us, I mean the youth in the room, that you've given us and continue to offer us a free yet powerful class of life. I call this class a master class. It's free. You just tune in YouTube, he's speaking, and we don't watch just words. We watch concept, philosophies, value system that's so grounded enough to keep us going, to keep us unique and strong. Dear President, as I conclude, I want to assure you that it's no longer about you. And in any way, it's never been you. The amount of time you mention people, my people, people, it just speaks all. It's a part of team, it's a system that works so hard to make sure that Rwandans, especially young Rwandans, have a systematic system of believing that things are so different and are going to be different. Dear President, you've cultivated a mindset in us, a mindset of independence, self-sufficiency, and thinking ourselves as equals, even talented, and just like everyone else in the world. We used to believe that there's a specific class of people who believes in certain way who do things differently. You've defied that. If anything, the distance between I and anyone that I always looked up as things were impossible, it has been reduced to almost, everything is possible. I myself, I was born in Tanzania, went to Rwanda when I was very young, got my first scholarship when I was in primary, second scholarship in high school, second scholarship in university, and a full scholarship in Harvard. All this has been just that, dear President, it's just equally distributed opportunities. A country where you can come from anywhere, work hard, work up your way, and make yourself proud and everyone that is dependent on you. That's the system that works. Mr. President, as I conclude, I have learned so much from you, but more specifically, it's your consistency and the art of perfection. You don't want to go anything below than what should and what ought to be the right way to do. It's called legacy. Before I pass the mic to another person, I wish to say one thing. That, President, this is what we deserved, as you said. It's what we deserved. It was about right time, and especially you to come and show us what we're capable. Inherently in us, it's not something external. Not at all. President, as youth, and I hope I captured your thoughts and I represented you very well, but personally, this is coming from my heart. I was reading from a phone, but I had hard time to craft what I should tell Mr. President. I've been extremely inspired throughout. So as I walk back to my seat, I want to tell you, President, that I assure you and promise you that as youth, we understand the assignment.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. I'll give Your Excellency a moment to respond, and then we'll have questions from the Woodrow Wilson room. That is very true. No questions were asked.
My response for that is thank you.
Yes. Yes. And we do welcome questions and remarks, suggestions, but please make it quick, get to the point so that other people can have a chance to ask their questions as well. Yes, no speeches, but we appreciate you. So I'm going to take questions from the Woodrow Wilson room. Hold on, we'll get to you. We'll get to you. Let's get some questions from the Woodrow Wilson room, and we'll come back to this room. And please remember to make it quick.
Hello? Your Excellency, murakoze cyane. Nitwa Niyo Mugabo. Muri Washington habuze icyumba cyatwakira. Habuze icyumba twakwirwamo. Birerekana ubwuzu tubafitiye Your Excellency. Turishimye cyane. Turi mu kindi cyumba turakurikirana kandi turishimye pe cyane kubakira. Your Excellency, nagira ngo mbashimire ko kutubonera umwanya aho dutuye, aho tugenda, nta gihe abantu batatubaza ngo iwanyu nihe, tukabivuga twishimye cyane. Iwacu ni mu Rwanda. Mwaduhaye izina ryiza, izina Ubunyarwanda, ni izina ridutera ishema, turabyishimira cyane. Mu Kinyarwanda bavuga ngo urugo rw'umwana rugususurutsa utarurayemo. U Rwanda tururebera kure, imitima yacu igasusuruka kandi tutaraye mu Rwanda. Your Excellency, nagira ngo gusamba, ndabizi ko hari igitekerezo cyo kuzana Rwanda ya hano muri Amerika, turifuza ko cyakwihutishwa. Ikindi gitekerezo, Your Excellency, twohereza umusanzu wacu tugafasha ababyeyi n'abavandimwe twasize mu gihugu, kandi turishimira cyane ko ejo hashize batubwiye imibare kandi biradutera ishema. Turashaka ko mwadufasha hakazashyirwaho ahantu ho koherereza imisanzu yacu bidaciye muri platform z'abanyamahanga. Ari amafizi baduca ni menshi, n'abayaduca bakayaduca ari Abanyarwanda, ariko yose akagera iwacu. Murakoze cyane Your Excellency.
Thank you. Let's get one more question, suggestion from the Woodrow Wilson room as well. And please make it quick, get to the point.
Murakoze, nitwa Adeline Murerungondo Rugandura wa Rugandura na Nakabonye, engineer in biotechnology, specialized in vaccines. I'm Rwandan by blood, Tanzanian by birth, and American Guhaha, to make sure we have bread on the table. Your Excellency Paul Kagame, thank you for making our Rwandan a beautiful home for everywhere, for everyone, everywhere, and dignity, where the dignity and peace belongs. I'm proud kuba ndi Umunyarwanda. Mabibi na mabwana, asante. What a great day to be a part of Rwandan community. It feels like a home. It's a great opportunity to be a part of this event where I can see my sisters, my brothers, my parents in one setting. Murakoze cyane nyakubahwa guhora mutuzirikana mukatu 15th mu Rwanda. Please muzareke tumushyigikire akomeza tuyobore neza. Murakoze.
Your Excellency, would you like to respond to that? Okay. Please make sure you ask questions and get to the point. I will take a question from right here in front. I see two ladies right there in the back. Make that quick, please. Let's get a mic right here. and one back there. Please make it quick. As you can see, there's lots of hands in here and hands I don't see in the other room, so.
Thank you. Mr. President, my name is Lawrence Norris. I'm here in the United States, and I'm with a project called the African Synchrotron Light Source. And I'm here with my good friend, Romain Marenzi, who you certainly know. My question is, what percentage of GDP does the government of Rwanda spend on science and technology, and what is the right balance between your domestic government expenditure and foreign assistance for science and technology?
Thank you so much, and thank you for getting right to the point. Okay, let's get a question from the two ladies back there.
Mwiriwe, murakoze. Hello? Sorry. Turi impanga mutubabarire nicyo tuma twasabye ngo tuvugire icyarimwe. Murakoze Perezida, reka mbanze mpahere kuri 2013 muri Toronto mwaradusuye muri Canada. Sinzi uko mutwibuka ariko twari impanga twaharagurutse turabyina kugeza muduhaye ijambo. Icyo gihe muri duhaye naravuze ntimutubabarire, turi very persistent ariko turi kuri mission. Iyo mission twashakaga ikibanza mu muri kiduhe twubakira abaturage, twubaka amashuri, twubaka amazu. Muri 2013 icyo gihe mwaravuze ngo ariko biroroshye ngo vugana hano na RDB bazakibaha icyo kibanza. Mwarakiduhaye. Icyo kibanza mwakiduhaye Bugesera, duhamagara mama ngo turagowe ngo ubusa ahantu hadakira imihanda, hatagira amazi na electricity zagira gute. Kandi twari kumwe n'abazungu benshi dukorana muri Canada, baravuga ngo mama aravuga ngo mudasenga, musenge Imana ifite plan. Tugiye twumva ngo niho aeroport zizaza n'ibindi byose tutimana irashimwe. So, reka ngere kuri point. Since we talked in 2013, we have raised over $1 million Canadian. Twarahubatse, haruzuye, hari amazu, abaturage, amashuri y'abana, turabagaburira. N'abaminisitiri baza kudusura, duherukanye na Minisitiri Sumutakiriyo. Aravuga ngo iyi modo mufite niyo y'igihugu dukeneye kugenderaho. So then ndagira ngo mbashimire mwaduhaye ikibanza. Kandi jye nabutoye ni philanthropy only to volunteers. Jye ndi umwarimu w'impumyi nkora Braille. I produce Braille for living with the government of Canada. Uyakora na Immigration Canada. Ariko kubera ko twavuze ngo tuzahahe neza ariko dufashe abiwacu tuve muri low income kuri middle class. Dore Mr. President Kagame nukuri na printinze 2050 vision ndayifite hano, ndayisoma every word, and that's what I want to do. Muzaze kudusura ariko utwarankubita we. Sorry, bukuru andusha iminota 3 niwe ajya avuga. Ariko reka mvuge ijambo rimwe. Banyarwanda bacu n'inshuti z'abanyarwanda, ibyo dukora twohereza $200,000 by'amadolari ku mwaka bituva muri twebwe n'inshuti zo muri Canada on a volunteer basis. So let me challenge you, nkuko President Kagame abikora on behalf of a government, reka tubikore as a community. Government hikore yonyine. Oh yeah. Murakoze, we love you so much.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Your Excellency, there was one question that was asked about how much of the Rwandan GDP is spent on science and technology. Would you like to respond to that? I'll also remind people. Go ahead.
I will be brief. First of all, to raise that point, behind it, there is the importance of science and technology and how people should focus on it. But there is also a reality when it comes to Rwanda. Even the overall national budget is not big because of the size of the country and the economy. So I will not give a specific a number, but I answer it in a way that it gives a picture of what it is. One, we focus on science and technology. We know it is important, it's a priority, and from the beginning we've done that. And we do it through education. And education is a sector that comes at the top as a priority, where we put a big chunk of national budget. It's education, it's health, it's infrastructure, understandably, and agriculture, and many things. So as part of education, where science and technology falls, and that sector helps to highlight the importance of science and technology, takes close to 15%, which is very huge. A big chunk of the budget for education is about 15%. So within that, there is another big chunk, therefore, of science and technology, among many other things within just one single sector.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency. We do have 2 more questions in this room. The people should already have mics.
Murakoze nyakubahwa Perezida kuba muduha no mwanya, finally mbonye microphone, ndumva bishimishije. Ni mazina yanjye nitwa Kwizera Landry, ndi Perezida w'Abanyarwanda batuye muri Maine, aho bari bakoma amashyi. Mu by'ukuri nta kibazo mfite, ahubwo ni ukubashimira uburyo mukomeza guha agaciro diaspora igihe cyose tubakeneye mu kwa mutubonera umwanya, mukanatwibutsa ko dufite uruhare mu kugira ngo tugire iterambere mu gihugu cyacu, kandi turabizeza ko tutazabatenguha. By'umwihariko abanyarwanda batuye muri Maine, tubifatanyijemo na ambasade, twemeye ko tugiye gukorana n'akarere ka Gisagara kugira ngo tugafashe kuzamura imibereho myiza y'abaturage muri gahunda yashyizweho na leta y'inka ku muryango, ndetse tunazamure n'umubare w'abantu bazabona mituweli. Ni mu rwego kugira ngo nubwo tuza tukahahira hano tutabibagirwa abo iwacu basigaye inyuma. Ikindi ndagira ngo mbashimire kandi nibutse abari hano bose yuko imyaka 30 ishize, nyuma gato ya jenoside, habarwaga imfubyi zigera ku 400 zari zashizwe inyuma na jenoside, harimo n'abari babuze ababyeyi kubera babuze ababyeyi baguye kwitabaro kujya bahagaruke jenoside. Izo mfubyi zose zari zifite ibikomere ku mubiri ndetse no ku mutima, ariko kubera ubuyobozi bwawe hagiyeho programme nyinshi zibafasha kugira ngo bige. Ubu benshi bamwe baratanga uruhare rwabo kugira ngo igihugu gitere imbere, kandi benshi bari hano.
Thank you. Please wrap up.
Mu magambo makeya, hari observation ashaka gutanga. Hari abavuze ikibanza, twabonye ko mu Rwanda hari ikibazo cy'indwara zo mu mutwe cyangwa se mental health problems. By profession, I'm a psychiatric nurse, and I'm a survivor of the Tutsi genocide, and I have seen how this is affecting the whole nation in general. And I would like to emphasize that the government could put more efforts into helping those who are suffering, because as now we have moved from the stage where we're suffering, now we have stability, those problems that are coming on the surface. And we are seeing this in our own families. Muri make rero hari uwavuze ko batanze ikibanza, dufite initiative n'abandi banyarwanda bakeya, turashaka kubaka ibitaro bivura abanyarwanda, ariko cyane cyane tugafokasinga kuri mental health. twasabye ikibanza twe twarakiguze ubu ngubu turagifite ariko turagira ngo tumaze iminsi dukorana na minisiteri turagira ngo tubasabe hamwe n'abandi batekereza nkanjye ese ubishoboye akagura ikibanza ahantu runaka initiative ya government yo yabiye kugira ngo noneho tube benshi kubera ko needs zirahari tuzibona mu bice byinshi bitandukanye ugaruka mu Rwanda suye ibitaro bitandukanye nagiye mu cyizere ngera kuri solid minds ariko haracyari icyuho kandi naganire n'ababishinzwe harimo Dr. Darius ushinzwe sector ya mental health muri ministeri ya minisante tubona yuko aba investors iyo area barayibagiwe kandi ejo twize yuko entrepreneurs they see answers out of problems when you see an issue that's when you find the solution ikibazo rero kirahari najya mbikangura abantu bose ariko twumve n'icyo namwe mwadufashamo kugira ngo abafite ubwo bushake turusheho gutera imbere cyangwa mu iterambere ry'igihugu murakoze.
Thank you. Thank you. Your Excellency, we can take one more question if your time allows. Okay. So we'll take one more question in this room. This is a tough one. This is a tough one. Okay. Okay, we'll take a question from this side.
Check, check. Hello, hello. Oh, wow. Okay. Your Excellency, I'd like to start and be like everybody else. Instead of a question, it's a vote of thanks. Erega, oya, munyumve banyarwanda. Nyakubahwa Perezida wa Repubulika, ibibazo byinshi mwarabikoze ku buryo ubu ngubu igisigaye ni ugutanga amashimwe. My name is Yana Ruheta and I'm a final year biochemistry student. I had the privilege to sit on the healthcare panel today. And to make us understand how revolutionary the healthcare system in Rwanda has been. Like this? Gurcha? Okay, perfect. I really want to highlight how revolutionary the healthcare system in Rwanda has been. In 1994, how much do you think was the Rwandan life expectancy? According to the World Bank in 1994, the life expectancy of Rwandans at birth was 44.6 years. Now, in 2022, the same study was done again, and guess where Rwandans are now? In 2022, life expectancy in Rwanda at birth is 66.5 years. This means that in only 2 decades, Rwanda was able to expand its people's life expectancy by 20 years, something that has rarely been seen in the world. So, Rwanda rwiza, Rwanda dukunda. Healthcare in Rwanda holds no bounds and has boundless opportunities.
Please make sure
to
get to the point.
Yes, I'm getting to the point. I'm getting to the point.
Yes, please.
Abana bawe bo mu mahanga. Yes, abana bawe bo mu mahanga. Dukora tukwibuka. Dukora turanzwe n'indangagaciro waduhaye kandi gira icyizere abana bawe tuzagaruka gukomeza kukubaka no kuguteza imbere. Thank you.
Thank you so much. His Excellency has been very generous. We're going to take 3 more questions. We'll take 1 question from right here, and we'll get 2 questions from right there. And 1 more from here. That will be all. So let's give a mic. The 3 people standing right here at the front, and 1 person right here. Okay. Please get a mic to...
Thank you. Thank you. Your Excellency, Mr. President, and everyone here. I'm Michael Luongo. I'm a PhD student and also an instructor at Purdue University School of Hospitality and Tourism Management. And if things fall into place, I'll teach for a little while at UTB in Kigali. My question, and I'll just get right to it, is where does tourism fit into Rwanda's future? It's how I know and how I was invited here. The embassy had invited me to this event, Charles and Vital, because I will be maybe teaching education about tourism there. The sports talk hinted at tourism, but can you tell me more details about where tourism and inviting foreigners to experience Rwanda fits into the future of Rwanda? Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll also remind people that we do have other leaders in the room. We have the Minister of Justice, Minister of Finance, Minister of State of Health, Minister of Youth and Arts, the Minister of State of Education, and others that you heard from earlier. So we can also direct questions to those people. Okay, let's hear from the two people right there. One more here, and that will be all for today.
President Kagame. My name is Adam DePico. I'm from Columbia University, SIPA, and I have the privilege here today in working on a project with the RSSSB. And my question to you is touching upon how to build a strong private sector in Rwanda as you look towards the next 30 years of economic growth and development. How can Rwanda position itself in the region, and what can Rwanda do to attract private sector growth and encourage foreign investment? And which international continental partners that you haven't partnered with thus far would be fitting partners to bring Rwanda forward in the next 30 years? Thank you, President.
Thank you so much, and thank you for getting straight to the point. One more question there, and one question right here. Please give the lady a mic. Right there.
da Repubulika papa w'Abanyarwanda uri hano kuko nasenze Imana kugira ngo nkubone, nasabye ijuru ngo rizakumpa ariko ndakubonye. Imana ishimwe papa wanjye, nkuko uhaguruka ngo u Rwanda ntirukababare ukanga ko ikiremwa muntu cyababazwa, nanjye mpagurutse kubw'agahinda k'umwana wanjye, kandi nzi ko urwanira ukuri kandi urwanira gutsinda. Nagize akarengane, ndi umunyarwandakazi nitwa Uwaje Amahoro Nadine. Nagiye kubyara mfite randevu yo kubagwa kuko umwana akurikirana ari narabazwe. Ibitaro bimbwira ko birambaga saa 2 za mu gitondo, banyambika sonde, bigera saa 8 bataraza kumbaga, umwana akaza agakubita umutwe kuri sonde. Ndatabaza kubera hari umuganga umwe, barambwira ngo baraje baje saa 11, basanga umwana yarangije gusufurira mu matako, bakuruza vantuze, biviramo umwana wanjye kubora ubwonko. Na ibitaro bya Faisal biranzi, Dr. David niho mukurikiranye ku bwonko, ambwira ko umwana wanjye atazarenza ukwezi ariho, ariko Imana iramurinze bagiye kuzuza imyaka 5. Imana yampaye umugisha wo kugera muri iki gihugu. Ubuzima bwari bukomeye nza hano nkuko mu buzima bukomeye najyaga Faisal, ariko naremenza mu mujyi uhenze kugira ngo nkurikirane ubuzima bw'umwana wanjye. Muvuriza ku bitaro bikomeye bya Children National Washington, nabo bambwiye ko ubwonko bwe bwaboze kuva ku munsi wa mbere avuka kugeza ku mezi 7. Ntabwo yicara, ntavuga, ntareba, nta muvoma n'imwe. Nagiye kurega mu rukiko rwa Gasabo, urubanza barurya mbireba kandi ibimenyetso bigaragara, bagahakana ko batishije sonde, kandi sonde bayambika ugiye kubagwa. Nyakubahwa narajuriye nubwo ndaha, ariko ubushobozi bwanjye ntabwo bwabinyemereraga. Uvuga rimwe bigatungana, kandi ikibazo winjiye muragikemura. Nshaka ko kuri kugaragara. Byanteye igikomere cyo kumva ko mu bushobozi buke mfite ngomba gufasha abana babana n'ubumuga nk'ubu ngubu. Mu karere ka Gicumbi mfite abana bagera kuri 12 mfasha mu mafaranga make nshobora kubona. Nkibuka ko kurya umusokoro hari icyo wabafasha nkabohereza mu mushahara wose nabona, kugira ngo babone pampa. Abana babana n'ubumuga ababyeyi tubatwara hahamutse, nta kiza tubona mu maso yacu. Harimo abo bita abamama debile. Numva hakenewe uburenganzira n'ubundi bufasha bushoboka ku buryo n'iyo umwana wanjye yarenganurwa ntabwo nzabikora njyenyine, numva nakora ikigo cyitwa Rogani gifasha abo bana babana n'ubumuga. Nyakubahwa Perezida, murakoze, ikibazo cyanjye cyari icyo, nk'uko uhaguruka urengera u Rwanda ukaba waje gushaka abanyarwanda bawe hano, nanjye mpagurukiye umwana wanjye. Murakoze, Imana ibahe umugisha.
Thank you so much, and we'll take our last question from right here. Let's get the mic right here at the front.
Mr. President, we Washingtonians want to welcome you back to America. It's great to have you here. And my question is about bilateral relations between the United States and Rwanda. And would you please tell us here in the audience, we Americans and also all the Rwandans here, both from your country and also from the diaspora, what can you tell us about the positive relations in the last few years between Rwanda and the United States? Give us some examples of those positive aspects and how you see that relationship going forward. And also, we would be so interested in any communications that you can talk about, that you've had good communications with our President Joe Biden and those good relations. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Your Excellency, if it is okay with you, we didn't give a chance to the people in the other room to ask a question, so if it is okay with you, I'll give them an opportunity. Thank you so much, sir. Okay. We will take one question from the Woodrow Wilson room. I know we have so many questions in here. Your Excellency, as you can see, 4 years of questions, so we need to have you here more often. Let's take one question from the Woodrow Wilson room, and we'll give His Excellency a chance to respond to these questions.
Mr. President, good afternoon, Midway. My name is Jonathan Weaver. I'm the president of the Pan-African Collective. Its objective is to strengthen relationships between the United States and the people of Africa, specifically in Rwanda. We're working with an organization there in Rwanda to involve ourselves in partnership to help early childhood development centers, but also economic empowerment in terms of the donation of cows and goats to vulnerable families. And we've done that now for a number of years. I would like to know, what is your vision with respect to non-governmental organizations such as ours going forward? What would be the priorities for us? Because we want to know exactly what the needs are specifically in Rwanda and how we can best partner with you and the people of Rwanda.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency.
Last question. Last question. Last question. One last question.
Your Excellency, I'll give you an opportunity to respond to the questions that were asked.
To begin with, I talked about tourism. I answered it in a few words. I think just to say tourism is important to us, a very critical part of our economy. We want to promote it. We do everything possible for that. So the answer is it's important. I think that summarizes everything. Then the same thing about the private sector. And I'm being very brief on this type of questions just because I know there have been discussions going on since yesterday and this morning, and they are going into these details. I think that is what the purpose was. So for me to go back and go through what was discussed yesterday, probably it is not the best use of our time. So the private sector also is very important, and we do everything we can to highlight that importance, and again, private sector is key, and we have to do what we can to highlight it. Bilateral relations between the US and Rwanda, probably the most difficult to answer. I'm still learning diplomacy. That's why I'm struggling to find. But let me describe it like this. Our relationship is good. So that says everything. The same thing with now for US, Rwanda, Africa, the question to do with the NGOs, our policy is to allow any organization, any institution that wants to work in Rwanda with government or private sector to be able to do so. We just insist on making sure that there is good coordination so that people don't come and do anything, anyhow, whatever they want, and irrespective of government policy or the needs of people. So to be able to be more productive in what you are doing, we insist on coordination, simple coordination. That therefore builds on accountability. You must be accountable to the country's system and what you are doing. So NGOs are welcome, but there is a certain discipline that is expected for all of us. Government has to have clear expectations and policies, and to be able to work with other entities that also respond in the same way. I think that's all I can say.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, and thank you for taking your time to be with us today. It truly has been an honor. Okay. So we've come to the end of this function. Thank you for being here with us. Remember that there's a lot of entertainment. There's a dinner that is coming